Hey friends, Greg with the Pennywise guys. I have a project I'm working on. My daughter hit a cat going 60 miles an hour and it did extensive damage to the front end, broke the radiator, bent the subframe, and I want to show you the techniques to use to repair this kind of damage. It could be any vehicle, same techniques can be used. We have metal working to do, we have plastic welding, and we have repairing the plastic bumper without any repainting. So let me show you how it's done. Let's get started. Well, the damage that was done by hitting a cat at 60 miles an hour, the cross frame there, that sheet metal cross frame is bent up and it broke the radiator and busted it open. So I got a replacement radiator. The condenser coil seems to be in okay condition, and so it broke a plastic part over here. I'll have to show you how we can fix that. And let me show you the bumper, and it crushed it there, and that there was something done prior. She had something else that what she hit. I think it was a raccoon. So out in the country here, lots of critters to hit, but it did some good damage just for a small animal. I'll show you how to repair the bumper, and it's actually torn here. Down at the bottom there, it's torn. So I'll show you how to make those repairs. I went down to AutoZone and got their loaner tool. This is the 5-pound slide hammer. And it's free with a deposit. You use the tool, take it back, you get your deposit back. With that slide hammer, I got the 2-3 jaw slide hammer puller attachment kit. And so I've got these different things like a pulley set up here to pull that goes on this part here, but this part here I believe is going to help us. Okay, what we're going to need to do, this thing is raised up and it's pushed in. I went ahead and found screws that match the thread pattern of the 3 screws that this bottom part folds up into. And I'm going to go ahead and use that to pull against, otherwise I have to drill some holes. So since the peak of the damage is right here, this hole is what I'm going to use. I threaded the bolt in. It's a metric bolt that fit, and it's long enough that I put a washer and nut on the back to give it something extra to pull against, not just the threads of that nut there, but actually some extra threads of the bolt in back with a washer. I'm going to take the slide hammer that I got from the loaner tool. I'm using the end here from the accessories that I got, that I showed you. And we're going to go ahead and, I've got another nut here, and we're going to go ahead and fit it in here. I'm going to take another bolt and put it through so it can't slip off. Okay, just like that. And we're going to go ahead and pull it out, and then I'll have to bring it up and some other work to get this to where it's straightened out. Okay, here we go. Okay, let me do this. I thought that might happen. Go ahead and put that bolt back in here, and I'll put a nut on it. Okay, alright, now that won't fall out. Here we go. Okay, it's coming out. Now it's bringing out, and I'm getting to where we can get this. What I'm trying to do here is this is the mounting system bracket for the radiator and the AC condensing unit. And so I can get it straightened out, and these bolts lined up enough to be able to get the bottom shroud bolted into it. That's my goal. I'm going to have to bring this up, but I'll do that in a minute. But I got to keep pounding on this to get it out. Okay, that'll just click AC compress. Okay, we're good. Now this is starting to come down, and looking at it, I'm gonna look from the top, and I can actually now start to go up with it a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna take my hammer and I'm gonna hammer down Let me see here. Get a better angle on it. Try not to hit the condensing unit. Okay. That's a lot better. That's a lot better. Just about there. A little bit more out. Okay. I'd say we're almost there. I'm gonna go ahead and knock this down just a little bit more right here. Okay. All right. That is good. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. Okay, that attachment there worked really well. That's made, accessory kit's made for a polar set, but it worked. Now I'm gonna take and bend the sheet metal up with a pair of pliers, just like that. This one's gotta go down a little bit. I'm gonna take my hammer and flare this out like that. Bring that out a little bit. Okay, bring this down. That's looking really good. Just tweak this up a little bit there. And I think we got it. This will be able to, the radiator will sit in here now. This is down where it's pretty flat across there. Looking at it here, we're up maybe 1/8 of an inch. That's not bad. These flanges here where the bolts bolt across are about in place. This one here probably can use a little bit of squaring out here. Take the hammer, there we go. Just a regular claw hammer, fit it up in there, or a pry bar, hit it there, okay? That's looking a lot better. And now that is done. That is good. All right, we're gonna go ahead and heat up on the back of the bumper. If you could take the bumper off, it's best if you could do it from the back. And using a 1500 or greater, this is 1875 watt hair dryer. And we're gonna heat up the whole area and start gently pushing on the creases on the back side. And I'm using a paintbrush that has a rounded, softened corner. So something like a tool like that would be really nice. Need a rag in case you need to use your hands to keep it from burning your fingers. But that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go ahead and heat this up and we're gonna push this thing out. So we're gonna be pushing that crease, and this crease here will heat up the whole area. And once I get that crease to push out, the rest of it will follow. You could use a heat gun, but the heat gun heats up so fast you can actually melt the plastic before it's ready to pop. So the hair dryer is slower, but the less chance of it going too much and melting it. So I recommend using the hair dryer. Okay, it's getting soft enough. Just about there. Okay, I'm going to hold that down in that crease right now. It's still a little bit under pressure. See, it's staying down now. Okay, and I'm going to keep heating it up. I'll push this some more and I'll go across that crease and it should come out. See, it's going back in place. It has a memory of what it used to be, and so it'll want to go back to that same original It's almost there. It's original memory, but if you heat up too fast and melt it, then it will lose that memory. So use a heat gun is risky, but I like the hair dryer. Okay. Okay, I'm going to hold that there for a minute. We may have... Okay, let's take a look at it and see what it looks like. That looks pretty good. I'll go a little bit more right here. All right, I'm gonna push down on that really hard. I know it's coming back because that crack is starting to close up on that. Push on that as much as you can, let it cool off here. All right, here it is. It's nice and straight through there, looking good. I'm going to repaint all this here. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to plastic weld the other pieces that are all broken up, and we'll get this thing put back together. I want to show you how to plastic weld pieces back together. I use the LDK, the 60 watt soldering iron. It is a good one. I have a flat tip on it, and I use zip ties as a filler material. Just a regular black zip tie. Black is a good quality zip tie. And we're going to go ahead and tack this piece back in, and there's some missing parts. We're going to go ahead and fill this in. We'll go ahead and tack it in place first. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and just push it through there and tack it. I'm just kind of melting it together to tack it. See how it holds now? So I'll go ahead and tack it over here. Okay. And I'm go ahead and start using filler material on the front, and I'll go to the back. Okay, so we're going to start over here and melt this, and we're going to go ahead and melt in some zip tie. Get it down deep. That's why I'm putting the material in there, to help fill it in. And this holds very well. The black zip ties are good filler material, and it blends in pretty nicely with the original black plastic. This is part of the damage that was done by the hitting that cat, and we'll go ahead and get it all repaired and put back together. I'm going to blend this out a little bit here, make sure. I'll go ahead and put a little more filler right here. I'm just melting that right in. Okay, a little bit more here. Okay, let's continue the run right here. It's got a crack right here. I'm gonna take care of that right now. I'll just plunge it into the crack, and that melts it down about 50% through the plastic, and the crack goes all the way across. So we're going to go ahead and just melt that. Okay, we'll go ahead and melt this here, then we'll put some filler material in down there. Okay. Go ahead and add some zip tie to it, fill those holes. You can use the flat part of the soldering iron to smooth it out if you want. This part's not seamed, so I'm not concerned about how it looks. I just wanted a lot of material in there to give it the strength it needs. Okay, fill this in. So you can make it look pretty if you like, but this one I'm not worried about it. Just going to get the material in there. Just melt it as I go and blend it in. Fill those voids that I created when I plunged, melted it into the plastic. Okay, now we're missing a piece right here. You can let that go, or you can actually create a bridge across it. You use your filler material and start melting it, connect it to both sides. The reason I'll do this is just to add the strength to it. So create a bridge across, so melt it there, melt a little bit here, just go across, back and forth, kind of like you're welding metal. Melt it into the parent material, create that bridge. This. I've done this on bigger pieces. On another video down the road, I'll release restoration of an older car and then plastic parts on it. And I had to do a lot of plastic repair and parts that were missing like this, and was able to create a new piece using the zip tie to bridge across voids like this. So. By going back and forth, you kind of let the one spot cool down just a little bit and then create that bridge with the plastic across. And we're going to go ahead and melt it in over here. And believe it or not, this turns out to be pretty strong. Melt it in over the right there. I'm getting down to the end here. I've had to learn how to be creative with plastic welding to fix and restore old cars and parts and plastic stuff. I restored a '79 Lincoln, and I'll have videos for that. And a lot of plastic, but being the age, a lot of broken plastic, and so I had to do a lot of this to restore the parts. And I'll release those videos here down the road. Very fascinating restoration. We're almost there. Get that melted over here. And last little bit. Okay, doesn't look pretty, but it's there. I'm gonna go ahead and flip it and do the other side. Go ahead and do the same process here. We're just going to do the other 50% by plunging it into the crack. And it creates those pockets, and then we'll put some zip tie material into those pockets. Okay, and then this is the bridge that I created. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and fill that in. You see how that worked, and I'll just go back and fill in with zip tie material through here, reinforce the part that I created here, and we'll have a part that is really strong. Alright, there's the finished product. I went ahead and found 2 cracks here, so I did that. I plunge it through 50%, fill it, and then do the back. I plastic welded the cracks on the bumper. I did it on the back side only, built it up pretty good. It turned out nice. I am now ready to install the radiator and all the components and the bumper back on the car and get this back on the road. Alright, it's all completed. It looks great. The bumper repair turned out really nice, and I would strongly recommend using hair dryer over a heat gun. I've done heat guns before and they can become a problem, so take the time to do it right. Use a 1500 to 1800 watt hair dryer and it works great. Let me also tell you that these techniques can be used on any car to repair this kind of damage, either the rear bumper, front bumper, sheet metal repair work, and plastic welding. I tell you, it works really well. If you can't take the bumper off, then get an access panel removed and heat it up from the outside and reach in with your hand or a tool to push it out gently. The structure damage on the metal, that could be used on any application. If you don't have a point to pull, then just drill a hole where it needs to be pulled from. I happen to have that hole right there where I needed it, but if you needed to drill a hole, put a bolt in there and use the slide hammer on that. It works. Alright, I hope these techniques help and you have a blessed day. I pray that you are blessed, that you know Him who is the author of life.